Well, it was a pretty lackluster day of trade in a shortened trading week. You had the Nifty 50 trade in a very short range, which is less than 80 points, and we ended at very close to the low point of the day, down about 1/3%. Of course, we came within touching distance of that 20,200 mark. The broader markets also lost ground, and in an otherwise lackluster session, you had one particular section of the market that saw quite a bit of strength, and that was the PSU banking pack. As a whole, this pack gained close to 5% at one point. We ended at lower than that, of course, with gains of over 3%. Metal, Realty, and media stocks underperformed on the other end of the spectrum. The key event to watch this week, of course, is the outcome of the FOMC meeting. The Federal Reserve widely expected to keep interest rates unchanged, despite the fact that inflation has not yet come within the comfort zone of the Federal Reserve. Among the key movers in trade today, you had Power Grid Corporation of India, which was the top performer. Then you had the likes of Titan and Mahindra, both of which hit all-time highs. The entire auto pack, in fact, continued to gain ground. They were the top performer on Friday as well. HDFC Life and BPCL were the other top gainers. Among the losers, you have Hindalco, which was the worst performer, and indeed the metal pack as a whole underperformed. HDFC Bank was the biggest contributor on the losing side of the picture. And then you had the likes of Adani Ports, Bharti Airtel, and Adani Enterprises. Now, among the key stocks, you had Indian Overseas Bank from the PSU banking pack, which gained 20% at one point. Of course, it ended with gains of over 15%. But most importantly, it has actually become the third largest public sector bank by market capitalization, overtaking Punjab National Bank in trade today. And that was quite significant on account of a couple of very large deals. Power Grid Corporation, I mentioned, that was the top gainer on the Nifty 50. And that also is a counter that saw a large trade today. Dhanlakshmi Bank saw quite an interesting development. Its independent director resigned from the board and quoted what he said was belligerent attitude of the MD and Chief Executive Officer as the reason for that decision. And then Bharat Electronics is another stock that I was tracking. It was up over 3% in trade on account of an order of 3,000 crore rupees. But like I said, all eyes on the Fed meeting outcome, and that's later in the week.